far in the southwest of the known world lies the archipelago of Morholt, a scattered chain of wind-lashed islands cloaked in the mist and old secrets. One of the largest islands, nestled amongst the steep cliffs and deep-rooted forests, was a gnome settlement, Quendlspire, a place of curious tinkerers and clever minds. It was a land known for invention, whimsy, and laughter. But not all who are born of Morholt carry joy in their hearts. Jojo does not remember the name of the village he was born in. He does not recall the faces of his parents or the sound of his first words. What he does remember is pain, cold rooms, harsh voices, and the gnawing emptiness that comes from being unwanted. Somewhere in the cracked mosaic of his fractured memories lies the truth, too dark for most to bear. Whether it was cruelty, neglect, or something far worse that shaped him, none can say for certain. But by the time Jojo had slipped from his childhood and into his ragged teens, the boy that had once been was no more. In his place stood something else entirely. A predator cloaked in charm. A monster with a smile. He left Morholt's villages behind under the cover of fog, his heart blackened by years of silent torment. But rather than seek peace, he sought purpose, and he found it in shadows. For years, Jojo wandered the borders between towns across the southern coasts of Morholt, staking out his hidden lair in forgotten places, hollowed tree roots, ruined shrines, crumbling cellars. By day, he was a vagabond, a harmless gnome with a lute and a grin, but by night he hunted, not for beasts, not for gold, for children. No one knows how many lives were claimed in those silent years, nor what twisted experiments Jojo performed on his stolen victims. To him, it was a discovery, a pursuit of perfecting pain, of unraveling what makes the soul scream. He was meticulous, brilliant, and utterly inhuman. But even monsters make mistakes. One day, as he returned from scouting a nearby hamlet, Jojo found his lair aflame. The townsfolk had found him, led by whispers, warnings, and a mercenary group called the Third Sons. They tore through his hiding place with fire and steel, destroying years of work, of secrets, of trophies. And Jojo ran. He fled Morholt with nothing but the clothes on his back and the lies on his tongue. On the mainland, he slipped into a new skin, that of a wandering bard, cheerful and curious. He sang for coin, danced for crowds, and listened. Always listened. But Jojo knew his days of hiding in ruins were over. He needed a shield, something, or someone to mask the rot beneath his grin. That was when he found Ogblog Stormfort, a towering half-orc, bald-headed warrior, sitting alone in a roadside tavern along the Vandean coast. Their meeting was no accident. The gnomes sidled up with a story and a smile, and by the end of the night, Ogblog had laughed harder than he had in years, and Jojo had found exactly what he needed. A companion strong enough to stand in front of him, and naive enough to never look behind. Now, Jojo travels among adventurers, a harmless trickster on the outside, but behind the gleam in his eye lies a mind still burning, still hungry, still waiting for the right time and the right victim The monster never left. It merely put on a new mask.